Warning, the following review of both Life is Strange Before the Storm Episode 3 and the season review for Life is Strange Before the Storm for Xbox One contains spoilers within the clips and details in the review. If you haven't played the title yet, I'm giving you a chance to turn it back now and not have to be spoiled. But if you're going to watch or leave a like for both returning and new people to the channel. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Let's get started with the review. Cue the music. That's right folks, Life is Strange Before the Storm is back with its third and final episode entitled Hell is Empty. Picking up and recapping where we left off at episode 2, which we got the big reveal that the woman we've been seeing with Rachel Amber's father James is now someone much more closer to the Amber family than we think. Episode 3 also picks up on the situation between Frank, Drew, and Damon, while broadening up perspectives upon the Amber family, tightening up the bond between Chloe's family, and even giving you a future glimpse of how Rachel and Chloe's bond went deeper. Now see, as I was playing through Life is Strange Before the Storm Episode 3, I was really on the edge of my seat because of the build-up from Episode 2. Going into Episode 3, I had so many expectations and so many things that I wanted to happen, and a lot of this followed up. This episode really brought the heat, really brought the intensity. It was something that kept me on the edge of my seat. I was very much so into the episode that I couldn't wait for everything to unravel and give us this big package, and which that it did. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce to you, the pros. First pro for episode 3 of Life is Strange Before the Storm is that we see the bond tightening moment of Chloe and Rachel go deeper than the friendship that first began in episode 1, and more so how it was described in the first season. The writing between these two are written exceptionally well this time and in this episode exclusively, and does an amazing job of really getting into it canonically and placing it in the frame for these two. Rachel and Chloe just consistently improve this episode whether solo or together, and it's amazing to watch it unravel. It's definitely a pro for me. My next pro is that the set pieces and drama moments may take a moment to come, but when they come, it's something that's much more intense episode by episode. The moment between Damon and Rachel, the moment between Chloe and Elliot really ramped up the drama and crazy moments of this series. Episode 3 really begins to show the true sides of the characters that you thought wasn't a problem at first, until they come between the main goal of what you're attempting to do or fix the longer haul for this episode, which you'll definitely see more than you know. It's definitely a pro for me. My next pro is that episode 3 in this series in general incorporates Chloe's father well, whether he's steering her in the positive direction like he always does, being ambiguous and vague just to give Chloe direction and guidance, or just gently watching over her as she attempts to do the right thing within her life. Before the Storm incorporates William well enough to where he develops more, gets screen time, and just about shows Chloe how to handle the things she needs to handle through the mystical dreams that she has. While it may be horrific in the end, it's always something that resolves for her in the end also. It's a pro for me. My next pro for episode 3 of Before the Storm is that the music for this episode was on point from start to finish. It's really been selectively placed and put correctly to fit every set piece that was there. The soft melodies when Rachel found out about her mother, the worry feeling of Chloe in the hospital after Rachel got stabbed, the sad piano rock that accusing the final choice of the game, the high-paced staccato moments between Frank and Damon, all are really good moments from the soundtrack and very well placed. It's definitely a pro for me. My next and last pro is that we finally get some answers for some of the questions that there are in this episode. We finally know who the blonde woman is. We finally know who Damon is and what he's really about. We finally get answers to why James kept this hidden and why he never told Rachel about her true mother. We get a lot of questions about why, who, how, and when, and where. In this episode, so many questions get answered and we get satisfied off we finally know it took so long for a build-up. It's definitely a pro for me. Now see, as I was going through episode 3 of Life is Strange Before the Storm, I happened to notice that this episode by itself has some glaring issues, especially for it being the finale and the wrap-up of everything that's happened. It's either too bad writing, too little done, too much filler, or something that really didn't get wrapped up from both episodes. Episode 3 of Life is Strange Before the Storm actually drops the ball in certain instances. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce to you the cons. My first con for episode 3 of Before the Storm is that it didn't fully solve everything that needed to be answered. We make some critical choices near the end as Chloe tampers with DA evidence, as James Amber is plotting to assassinate his baby mother, as he's also working with Damon Merrick, the drug dealer who's also the antagonist of his daughter and his daughter's friend. A lot of stuff happens that gets kind of just brushed over at the end of the game like nothing happened. Some stuff never gets placed in the canon and just gets ignored. It's definitely a con for me. My second con for episode 3 is that a lot of the characters and plot points just get brushed aside as nothing was ever there. Drew's father never finds out about a job. Drew and Mikey never ask about the $1,000 that was stolen from them. Nathan and Stephanie become background pieces. Elliot has only one serious moment with Drew in the entire series. David and Chloe's mom also kind of gets pushed within the background as Chloe continues to get let free and just does what she wants. It's missing potential and just opportunity missed as well. It's a con for me. My next con is that the writing of particular moments in this episode just doesn't make sense. Finding out who Sera is to be revealed as Rachel's mother to get destroyed at the end of it is nothing ever comes to fruition of it. The scene of Damon holding Sera captive makes no sense at the end of it. She just walks away from chasing Rachel for years as it's suddenly going to hurt the Amber family and not give Rachel and Sera the closure that they need, as we've been trying to figure out since the very first episode who she was. It kills all the immediate build up, it ruins a moment, and it's a con for me. My last and final con is that this episode has entirely too much filler around it to be the final one. Episode 3 has too many small moments that shouldn't have been there to begin with. Taking the time out to spend fixing up Chloe's truck, having to see Chloe take a shower and dye her hair, having to spend time watching David and Chloe's mom dance around for Mother's Day, Chloe and William talking on the highway. There's so much that could have been taken out of this episode and just utilized more as another episode by itself. Episode 3 has way too much filler and is fluffed out just the time. It's a con from me. But all in all, episode 3 of Before the Storm is pretty good. With the writing between Chloe and Rachel growing more and more being fleshed out, the drama and set pieces being really good and unique this episode, William being an influential person even from beyond the grave, the music being some of the best this season and even getting a good amount of questions answered really does a good job of it. However, episode 3 of Before the Storm has also quite a few clear moments where it lacks at also. From stuff being swept up and not all the way followed up on at the end, lack of character development for some of the side characters, the underwhelming moment of Sera just walking away after years of chasing Rachel and never getting any answer from it, and lastly, all the filler that this episode holds. I can honestly say it was disappointing in those few moments, but with that being said, I'll be giving episode 3 of Life is Strange Before the Storm a 3 out of 5. Alright folks, I'm going to keep this particular review here short and sweet and just a bit different from the regular you've watched. This season started off really good as an invoked mystery of whom the blonde woman was and who was Damon married to Fear, but also learned about the bond of Rachel and Chloe the best, seeing how both were on two different spectrums but ended up still bonding anyway. The bond between those two improved, but however, a lot of the other characters took a backseat in the writing and plot points period. We learned who Damon was after the moment of Drew, we learned about Rachel's parents and how far James wanted to hide his secret for years and how far he'd go to hide it. One of the most disappointing things this season, however, was Sera just being written to give up at the end of everything happening, after the drug scene, after her fighting to find Rachel for years, after all the checks she voided and everything possible, to just being written to give up and not even taking the time to find out where her daughter was, as Chloe was her best friend. I think that was one of the most disappointing moments for me this season. It just pushes away one of the key points this whole season and takes away all of what Rachel was originally angry about to begin with. That truly messed up the season for me and knocked it down a few points. If I had to give the season a score, if I really had to review the entire season itself, it'd be sitting at a 3.5 out of 5. That's where the score is, a 3.5 out of 5. It was originally a 4 from episode 2, but 3 misses a few steps that didn't have enough time to be implemented. And I'll be honest, it shouldn't have been 3 episodes from the jump. It should have been 4, and then the departure episode where you play a young Chloe and Max. But the way they ended this episode, the way the final moments was pushed forward, the way we just got a cut scene of them jumping time, it really takes away from what this game was purposely pushing, because it kind of ruined every single piece of build-up that jumped from 2 to 3. So if I had to give the season a score, it's sitting at a 3.5 completely, because it completely just misses all of the point that was originally there. But I thank you guys for stopping by and watching this review. I thank you guys for taking the time out to watch me review this game. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be having plenty more reviews up on the channel. Hit that like and subscribe button for me, please. If you're new, hit that subscribe button. If you're a returner, hit that like button. If you're new and returning, hit that notification icon so you can always stay up to date with everything that I'm dropping, whether it's review, think piece, new stream, content, whatever else the case may be. Be on the lookout for that, guys, because I'll be giving you guys much more content and much more to do and much more from it. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for checking out this video. Until next time and until the next video, guys, we'll tune in, turn up, and throw down. I'm out, and I thank you guys for watching.